Hey, y'all. Welcome to another week of Build Through Broadcast with your host, the Emerald Green Collective. I am Coach Shantae, and today we have Coach Shayola. Today, we are talking about breastfeeding once again because it is National Breastfeeding Awareness Month. And this week, we're talking about the body, the physical aspects of breastfeeding. So, we're going to be talking about breastfeeding in the 3D. We're going to be talking about pumping. We're going to be talking about all things physical in the world of breastfeeding. So let's get physical. Welcome back, y'all. So, we are really excited about this subject. If you have not been able to tell, this is a subject that is very near to both of us as we are both moms. We're at different sections of the journey of motherhood, but both of us have elected to breastfeed in the capacities that we can. Now, because we're talking this week about breastfeeding, the body, and all of the things, I want to highlight something that is very, very important. To me, what is very important about this conversation today is that whether you are a nursing breastfeeding mama or a pumping breastfeeding mama, the most important piece is that your baby is getting the milk. Okay, whether you are fully breastfeeding, supplementing, however it is that you need to do it, the most important thing is that your baby does get the milk. All right. Now, with that being said, we've got two different experiences in the room today. So, we're going to talk, both of us, a little bit about our experiences thus far, which mine is over and Coach Shayola's is ongoing. So, Coach Shayola, um, in the aspect of the physical pieces of breastfeeding, what have you found to be the most empowering aspects of the breastfeeding journey thus far?
The nourishment aspect. Now, I'm not going to front. When I first started, I wasn't pumping a whole bunch. And then it was that I won't call it a peak, but then it started to come and it's like, yes, it's coming, it's coming. And just this might be TMI, just taking notice to his bowel movements have been, a journey as well. So, the empowering piece is knowing that you can, even if there are, they say you got to keep doing it, don't
Mhm.
don't stop, get it. No, they said keep
Yes.
going, you have to continuously do it. I've gotten so much tips and feedback, whether it's
Mhm.
drinking barley water or drinking a tea or massaging, which I find
Mhm.
that definitely helps. And not just massaging the breast, but up under the arm too. You want to
Yes,
get
all the
all up
lymph
in
nodes.
there. Yeah. So, um, and again, if you are pumping, if you're expressing, if you are any aspect of it, that you're doing, kudos to you, because everyone's journey is different, and it is definitely it may not be easy for everyone to just, here you go, baby, so
Definitely, definitely. And
yeah.
to piggyback on what you were saying, unless you have like a lactation consultant that you can speak to on a regular basis, there's a lot of stuff that you may not know, like massaging under the arms into the area of the lymph nodes to get that milk to come down, and massaging all around the whole area of the breast to get that milk flowing. Those things can make or break your breastfeeding experience, because one thing about breastfeeding is that it does occur in the postpartum period of the
Mhm,
pregnancy,
mhm,
and that phase in and of itself can be amazing. That fourth trimester period can be very amazing, or it can be an emotional roller coaster. And when you are breastfeeding and it's going perfectly according to plan, that's great. But when you're breastfeeding and there are challenges along the way and things start to go awry, it can be very, very difficult to stay positive and stick to it. So you really have to have, some staying power. You got to have a village, a community of support behind you, and that's
mhm,
extremely important. But that piece of just massaging the whole breast up into the armpits is really key. Oh, I also wanted to say, last week we had Nana Dula on, and also that's my mom. And after our broadcast, we talked, and she was like, there were so many other things that I had in my notes that I wanted to share, but I didn't want to go over time. So I was like, yeah, I totally understand. And we got to talking. And one of the things that she mentioned that I'm not sure if she got to say live, breast milk is very smart technology, in that
mhm,
when you are nursing your baby, based on your baby's saliva, your milk changes to give baby what he or she needs.
mhm, yeah.
Another thing that is really, really interesting about breastfeeding is when your morning daytime milk is energizing, while your nighttime bedtime milk is relaxing. So if you're pumping and you are expressing milk and you're storing it, make sure you put AM or PM as far as the time of day it was
Mhm.
expressed, so that way you don't reach into the freezer at 9:30 and get the 9 a.m. milk, because baby will be up looking at you, asking you to play instead of winding down and getting ready for rest.
That is definitely a fact. And I love uh you get the little labels, and you can,
Mhm.
they even have like date and time. So the date and time is definitely important. Another thing about breastfeeding is, they say that the snatch back is real. So just getting your body reacclimated, I'm pretty impressed. I gained some weights. you
You gained a
know
couple of them.
I gained a couple of them, but I am confident that continuing to breastfeed will help to release some of the weight
Mhm.
that was put on. Also, I've talked about the pregnancy bringing about a fibroid that I had from, way back when. And during my follow up, the doctor was saying, the breastfeeding will also help to pretty much minimize that. So I look forward to continuing to, you know, pump and feed, so that, it'll be dope if it's like, oh, what fibroid? That thing is gone. We didn't even know. So
Yes.
I'm definitely looking forward to that. Um, but and again, if I'm keeping it a G, if I'm being honest, as it relates to the body, breastfeeding can also make you very tired. It can make you sleepy. You have to eat just as much, if not a little more than you
Mhm.
did when you were carrying. So um, I love to eat, but I still feel like maybe I need to be eating even more. But
Mm.
honey, when I say that the sleep is real, I am definitely, ready for a nap. And they'll say like, don't fall asleep, when you're holding the baby. And I'm not going to front. Today I felt myself like, oh wait.
You
Just
had to get it together, huh?
get it together. Do not fall asleep. But the way that I'm sitting and he's being held, it's no risk. But the sleepy part is definitely real in the field. Um, so I'm gonna veggie back to the stool. This is more so the baby's body than mama's body, but
Mhm.
their stool actually looks different as well when they are on breast milk, which I didn't even like
Oh
fathom the thought.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't fathom the thought, but I'm really big on checking the poop, whether it's for babies or adults, because the poop tells a story. So we definitely want to make sure that we are um we're looking at the poop. However you're
Mhm.
feeding your baby and feeding yourself, you definitely want to look at the poop. I wanted to
Very
bring
important.
Go ahead, coach.
Oh, I said that's very important.
It is indeed. I have my trusted mobile device. Well, I don't know how trusted it is. I know it's trusted to listen on to your conversations.
Most
Um,
definitely that.
right? So, um, what do you think for you the greatest impact, if any, breastfeeding had on your body?
Breastfeed. Oh, so the greatest impact was that I went from like a D, double D pre-pregnancy to like a E in the
Wow.
course of breastfeeding. Yeah, it was a lot of breasts that were there
Mm-hmm.
during
Mm-hmm.
that time frame. But I did have the joy of not having a low supply.
Mm.
I didn't go too far into swollen milk ducts or clogged milk ducts or needing to do the hot cold compresses or anything like that, which
Mm-hmm.
I was very, very grateful for. For the majority of my breastfeeding journey, I was able to stay at home with my son. But there was a period in there, I think it was towards the end of the breastfeeding experience, I decided to get a job. And that
Mm.
was a whole experience in and of itself, which I'll probably talk about a bit later. But definitely the biggest thing for me with breastfeeding was that my breasts were so much bigger during that time frame. And it was an adjustment to
Mm.
seeing myself like that everywhere I went, because I had always, had like I was more shapely on the bottom than the top.
Mm-hmm.
And then after pregnancy, I was like down, and that
Mm-hmm.
was a lot to adjust to,
Right.
a whole lot.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I was thinking, to the ladies who may, so in my younger years, I actually got a breast reduction twice, right? And had I known what the correlation was with the breast in the womb, I probably would not, maybe I wouldn't have got it. But I was very much a heavy breasted person, and I just didn't love it. I didn't love people speaking to my
Mhm.
breast. I'm like, I'm up here, type thing. Because as I get older, they really have grown back, and now breastfeeding, like, it was just kind of like, oh, why did you do that? Because you are kind of right back where you started. But I was huge, and I was more so top heavy. I wasn't super shapely on the bottom at all. So I mentioned the breast reduction aspect of it because it can affect your breastfeeding if that is the route that you're going to go later on. Now,
Mhm.
gratefully for me, I had that surgery almost 20 years ago. So that was time for my breast to repair. But if they have to do a total separation of your milk ducts, that could be a thing. So I just say, if you are thinking about getting a breast reduction and thinking about having children and breastfeeding, consider that, you know, it can affect your supply. So um definitely, make sure that you are in the know. Um they say you shouldn't live with regret, and because they've grown back, it was kind of like, did you even need to do it? But not only be the looks, but girl, my bras, my grandmother tell you, $100 for one
Yeah.
bra just to make sure that you have that full support. So I was like, no, I want to wear the cute ones that they get from Victoria's Secret.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it though. I mean, I'm enjoying having to do something for someone else other than myself. So watching what I eat is important, right? Because even though you are charged with eating more, keeping your calories up, you still don't want to eat a whole bunch of junk, because
Right.
obviously, that is what baby would be consuming. So yeah, I mean, this is definitely something at 43 to experience. I told my husband, I'm like, I think that, we should have another one. And he's like, first of all, let's get acclimated to this one. You're talking about a whole nother child. But, we're older. And I'm like, well, he needs a playmate. They don't want to be by themselves, the whole time.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. But thanks, shout out to your mom for giving that, the fact that breast milk is a beautiful type of technology, and that there is a difference between the AM and the PM. So,
Definitely.
you know, hmm I'm still looking through this book for what I wanted to pull out. But did you have anything that you wanted to add as it relates to getting not getting physical? See, as it relates to the physical body and breastfeeding.
Yes, 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 yes. So, um, earlier today, I was actually on Facebook and I saw this post from one of the breastfeeding pages that I follow. And she posted it was either a screenshot or a comment from someone that had the question, or no, it was a picture of a breast pump set up in a bathroom. Now that irritated me to my soul first and foremost, because bathrooms are automatically unsanitary. Like, I don't care how much you clean it, it's gonna be unsanitary in my head and in reality. But the caption was, I just started back working and my boss told me to pump in the bathroom. Aren't they supposed to provide some type of sanitary accommodations that are not a bathroom? And it really got me thinking and reminiscing about my breastfeeding experience when I did start working for that period of time when Makari was a baby and he was still breastfeeding. So my job had a break room, and I had already spoken to the manager, and I put a little sign on the door when I would go in to pump. And the first issue that came up is like other employees felt like I was hogging the break room by going in there to pump during my shift. The second issue that came up was um, I needed more breaks to pump because my body
Mhm.
was accustomed to expressing milk on a different schedule than I was doing at work.
Yeah.
So we got, in the length of time that I worked, I think we got like one 10-minute break and one 30-minute break. So I would split my breaks up throughout my shift so that I could take my 10-minute break and my two 15-minute breaks throughout the shift and express the milk as needed.
Mm.
Now, that became an issue because that would require somebody else to come off the floor to stand at the register and do that job. Um, the third issue that came up was there was a delivery driver who just decided that he didn't have to um, observe the sign. Like he didn't have to respect the do not enter sign that was clearly posted on the outside of the door. So I was in there pumping one day and he just walks into the breast in the break room while I am sitting there with my pumps attached, expressing the milk. Now I was covered up, but it still made me extremely uncomfortable that he would disregard the sign that's on the door and come in, see that I'm breast pumping, and still not leave. Like he still stood there and attempted to have an
Mm,
entire conversation with me. And I honestly felt threatened in certain regards because I'm attached to this breast pump. It's not like I can get up and move real fast if this person were to try to do anything in that moment. And it was just really, really frightening.
mm,
But now I know that number one, they legally have to give me or any breastfeeding woman, breast pumping woman, as many breaks are as required in a
mhm,
sanitary condition and sanitary space to be able to pump that milk.
mm,
Your employer cannot tell you, well, we don't have anybody to cover you. You're going to have to just wait, or they legally cannot tell you that. There was even legislation that was passed in December, like this past December, as it relates to breastfeeding, essentially making it illegal to have a woman pumping milk in the bathroom. And this was at the federal level.
mm,
So
mhm,
if you are breastfeeding, pumping, you need to go back to work in a physical location. Advocate for yourself, advocate for your baby, stand up for your rights. Don't let them try to intimidate you, either your management or your fellow co-workers. Don't let them try to intimidate you and tell you that you're inconveniencing the team or you're doing some. You're not. I promise you that the bigger issue is probably going to be similar to what mine was, which is all of the people that smoke, that go outside every hour and take 5 to 10 minutes to smoke a cigarette off the clock, or excuse me, on the clock, because they didn't clock out to do that. But every time I went to express milk, I was clocking out. So if you see things like that happening, call them out. Don't let them try to intimidate you and tell you that what you're doing is wrong.
and that's a fact. I mean, this whole idea or concept of advocating for yourself is so, so, so real. I mean, when the time is right, I'll share more of, my story, just as it relates to this pregnancy and, advocating and really standing up, for yourself, regardless of how that person may feel, because it's really not about their feelings
Mm-hmm.
at all. You want to make sure that um, you are advocating. So, really quickly, I know that we've been talking about just like how breastfeeding may affect the body, whether it's weight, whether it's, eating more, whether, it's bigger breasts, bigger, just body overall, smaller body. Side note, I met with a sister friend a few weeks ago, and her baby just turned a year and she is petite, but honey, what is not petite are those breastises for real. I said, girl, she said, I just
Yeah.
keep a big supply. So when y'all see me, please don't be like, oh my gosh. Just know this is the situation, you know. But very quickly, it says when breastfeeding may not be an option, because we don't want people to feel like, oh, that's what I got to do for my child. You do whatever is right for you, but just know, again, we talked about the surgery or trauma to the breast as it relates to severed ducts. Now again, if you do have a breast reduction, they don't necessarily have to sever your ducts. So I'm not saying don't do it because of A, B, and C. I'm just saying, just know what it is that you are doing. um what else does it say? If you're ill and you can't be with your baby, that could be a reason why. taking small amounts of medication that are harmful to your nursing. Um, when I was in the hospital, it was so funny because they, they give you like medication, and my husband was not feeling it. So he was like, "You want to get a baby that medicated milk?" It's like, first of all, it's not medicated milk, but I got where he was coming from. Um, and these are the other reasons. And I'm reading again from the complete book for breastfeeding. It's just basically talking about your health. Your health plays a really, really, really big part in that.
Mhm.
So, just as it relates to the body, we want to make sure that we're doing all that we can for ourselves, thus for the children. So, with that being said, a little segue, if you feel like, listen, I'm ready to rejuvenate all of my cells, and I want to do it with a group, you can join us for our fall equinox detox, which is coming up on September 2nd. We'll go
Already.
for already, right? We'll go for 21 days, but we do have a kickoff late this month, on the 27th. So, if look, y'all, and if you register today, okay,
Yeah.
you will also receive a ticket to our celebrate our 1 year anniversary celebration free,
Woo.
and you will receive $100 off of the detox. So that's $150 savings for you to not only detox, reset, rejuvenate with us, but you also get to celebrate with us and our dope guest for our anniversary. So the emeraldgreencollective.com for more on that. We do hope that you join us. I mean, it is a small price to pay for the value that you are receiving. You get your veg camp guide. You get a tune up, which is a elemental reading. You get a consultation, which is
Mhm.
a deeper dive into um, that elemental reading, and you get us, and you get a community,
Absolutely.
right? So definitely take a look at that if this is something that if you feel like saving $150,
Yeah.
yeah, just
And
come
now, if
through.
you just want to spend it,
Now we'll take
go
that too.
ahead.
We will take that. We will take that. So, we are coming up on the half hour. We like to keep these, somewhat short so that you can get all of the information without having to stop and go back. So, the key things for breastfeeding and the body is to make sure that you are taking care of yourself primarily. Oh, and get your rest. Get
Oh
your
yeah.
rest and keep your stress down, however that may look for you, because those things again can affect you. And if your body grows in ways that you may not be accustomed to, just let it grow. Let it grow. I am in no, my grandmother, she's like, you'll be okay, but you just have to lose weight. I'm like, first of all, I am not rushing this process at all. I'm gonna enjoy this pregnancy body, okay? I'm That's just what it is. I'm not rushing. But she's
Hmm.
always been that way. She'll let you know in a minute. Baby or not, you need to lose some weight. So, but
Oh.
I'm advocating for myself, y'all. I'm not in a rush to lose the weight, especially because I know I have to keep my calories up. So, anything that you would like to tell the community, the family, before we
Oh.
peace out?
The last thing that I want to say is to veggie back on this weight thing. The weight that we gain during pregnancy, that fat, that those fat stores is what's converted into milk. Our body burns that fat, converts it into milk, and then we give that to the baby. So you want to make sure that you're gaining healthy weight during your pregnancy and eating healthy fats in that fourth trimester, because you're going to need it. Baby is going to need it. That fat is necessary. They have to grow and grow and grow and grow. And that is a very, very powerful energy source for them. So definitely don't let anybody shame you into hitting the gym 6 weeks postpartum to snatch your body back. Allow yourself to lose the weight gradually. Enjoy bonding with your baby. Just take your time easing back into the demands of life, and allow yourself to enjoy the fullness of the experience. And of course, advocate for yourself. If you want to breastfeed your baby, breastfeed your baby. If you have people around you who are trying to tell you that it's, something's wrong with it or it's inappropriate, it's something wrong with them that they have to address, because that's what breasts were made for. Breasts were actually literally created to nourish our young ones. So if that's what you want to do, do that. If you need support, look for a lactation consultant, a doula, a midwife. There are plenty of people who are specifically trained to assist you with that. And if you just need to get your body right so that you can conceive naturally and carry your baby to term, definitely join us for our upcoming detox. Join us for our anniversary celebration. We've got astrologers and lyricists coming through, or an astrologer and lyricist coming through. We've got a garden expert coming through. We've got a sound healing expert coming through. It is going to be a phenomenal healing experience bundled into that time frame. So if you're looking to quantum leap your healing, to prepare your mind, body, spirit for creating a new life, definitely join us. We are really looking forward to it, and we'll see you guys on the other end of the detox or next Friday.
And we'll have a special guest next Friday. So do tune in.
Yes, that's
Yes,
exciting.
indeed. So enjoy y'all strong in. See y'all next week. Peace.
Peace, y'all.